Jason Wells here with Vingenti Media, and I want to talk about website sales. And one of the reasons I wanted to cover this is we've had a few clients that they get the impression that a website needs to do everything for them, and it can't possibly. You obviously want to write the website in such a way that it helps the sales process, but you still need a sales process, and that's why I put the equation website plus sales process equals revenue, and that you need a sales process. So what do I mean by that? Well, I'll just explain briefly what we teach the people that work with us and what we actually do. And I'm not going to go into a whole synopsis on how to sell, but I'm going to give you some idea as to what I'm talking about, because a lot of small businesses don't really have these processes in place. So the first thing we teach people is a connect step. And in your case, a connect step would be somebody filling out a form on a website, and you get them on the phone, you know each other's names, there's some rapport built to the degree that your conversation is going in some direction. Then there's a develop step. And develop step is actually where you're developing your new potential customer or prospect and trying to determine why they're calling you. Can you help them? What are they looking for specifically? This is really a listening and asking questions situation. Like, you really want to be asking questions and listening 90% of the time and talking 10% of the time. And that's just a general rule. Because if you're not asking questions and listening, you're not really developing the person and not having any understanding as to how you can help them. Once you do that, you're going to move on to the introduce step. And this is where you introduce your business, your product, your service, whatever you're selling the person. You need to be able to present it in a way that most makes sense to the person. So if you develop them properly, you'll know what they're looking for, and then you'll be able to tailor what your business has to offer, tailor the explanation in a way so they can see that you really can help them. Now, once you do your introduction and you go over the information, the person will fall into two areas. Either A, they're going to want more information, or you need to clarify some things with them, and so you're going to send them some information and follow up. Or B, they may be ready to say, okay, what do I need to do to buy this? What do we do to move forward? And if it's B, go straight to collecting whatever payment process you do, whatever information you need, whatever closing contracts you need to do, go ahead and proceed. You don't need to have a follow-up step if the person's ready to buy. And some people are just like that. They make up their mind. If your website's done properly, there'll be a certain percentage of the population that get everything they need off your website. They don't need to really know any more other than talk to you to make sure they trust you. But most people are going to fall into I have the questions on these things. I need to know what you're going to do with me here. And so you would send those people information, and then you would follow up. So you follow up with them. You always have a follow-up time. One of the biggest mistakes people make in sales is they send information out and they don't set a follow-up time. I always tell people, you never ever get off the phone until you have either a decision or a follow-up date. And so you get a follow-up date, and you sit down with them on the follow-up date, you answer remaining questions, and you move towards the closing process, whatever that is for you. And that's it. I'm not going to go on and on about this. I didn't want to do, like I said, an hour-long video on sales process, but I wanted to give you some semblance as to what I'm talking about by a sales process, so you understand that when you have a website, whether we design or somebody else does, please don't think the website can sell everyone for you. There's a certain percentage of the population, if the website's done right, that it will do everything you need it to do for those people. But there are some personality types that need a lot of details and a lot of information. And so your staff, employees, or if it's just you, need to be prepared and understand how to sell. You need to know the sales process and what you're doing so you can know where you are in your conversations with people, so you know where you're going next and what the next step is. And that's one of the biggest mistakes that I see people make, is when they have a potential client or customer, they don't know where to take them next. And that often causes these kind of people calling you from your website, filling out your email form, and just a bunch of people dangling out there but never really buying. And then the business owner or our client, in some cases, are trying to figure out why. And it's not the website. The website's bringing you people, and the people are now dangling. It's a sales process internally in your business that needs to be corrected. So that's something I wanted to talk about, because I think it's something that gets mashed together and convoluted, and a lot of people don't understand. And since, Chris and I are entrepreneurs, we run our own businesses. We're not just website experts. We actually understand how to run a business and produce sales. Since we have experience in both, what makes us a bit unique is that we can identify things like this. We're almost like business consultants, not even like website consultants and marketing experts. We actually understand how business runs, and we can identify these things. So just filling you in on that. If you got people coming in through your website or any other source, and you got a bunch of kind of dangling people there that really haven't made a decision or aren't going anywhere, you probably got a problem with your sales process.